Welcome back to the Spook House, everybody. I am your host, Phil, and joining me as always is Doug. Do I really have to do another audio test? Galliardo, how you doing, buddy?
That's how we both feel.
Yeah,
We're going to
yeah.
get all our anger and frustrations out on Halloween Ends and David Gordon Green. Not necessarily the movie, the team behind it. So fuck technology and fuck David Gordon Green is how I'm starting off the day.
Well, hey, if you're listening to us, you are using technology, and we thank you for tuning in to our silly little podcast where we talk about horror movies. And this one is the biggest movie right now. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody has opinions, and so do we.
Yeah, well, we have a whole lot of opinions, like usual. I feel like people are used to our. I don't necessarily think of being opinionated as a bad thing. Do you? Because like, you have to have opinions if you like something or don't like something. Some
Yeah,
opinions may be more passionate than others. It's all about
yeah,
how you express it.
yeah, and that's what podcasting is. You can't just say, "Hey, I saw that movie." All right, thanks for tuning in. I mean,
Hey, I liked it. All right, good night, everybody.
yeah, so we have opinions and doesn't mean they're right. This is just how we feel. So this movie is really split down the middle. Well, I don't know. I would say like I see 70% hate, 30% people that love it.
I see a lot of people actually into it. A lot of people think and they're allowed to think whatever they want. Uh, they think it's different. They think it's a new take on the Halloween franchise. They like the direction it went in. They thought it was an enjoyable movie. And again, I say this every episode. I feel like don't dismiss someone's opinion just because it's not yours. There's so much
Yeah.
stuff going on, especially with this movie, that like I liked it. Fuck the haters. It's like no, they're not. Like yeah, you could hate a movie, but like don't fuck them. Like
Yeah.
we didn't particularly like the movie, but we're not saying fuck people who enjoyed it. I'm glad people can actually enjoy garbage because this was a heaving pile of trash.
Well, I do have to say, okay, upon first watch, I texted you like this is shockingly bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna frame that text.
And I was actually shocked. I don't know. I was sitting in the theater and I was like, this is am I seeing what I'm actually seeing? Upon rewatch, I guess I went into it knowing what it was. I was like, okay, well, let me see what I think about it now. The majority of the problems I have with it are still there, but I didn't hate it as much the second time around. I mean, that's not a praising review, but um,
Yeah,
yeah,
this might be one of those movies that you need to watch a couple times if you have even if you want to. Like I wouldn't necessarily choose this movie to put on, like how we watch, any other of the original Halloween movies. Like I could literally watch you throw on any Halloween movie right now, I'll watch it from the original timeline. I wouldn't pick this one to watch. I didn't necessarily enjoy it. Some of the ideas though, like after watching it the first time out of the theater, I kind of didn't know how to feel. I'm like, I know I don't like this movie, but I don't hate it. I didn't hate it, and it's not. I mean, it's not good in my eyes, but there was something there. There was something there that could have been done to salvage what David Gordon Green and that writing team has done. Because to me, this whole trilogy was just like a mess. Like there's no direction. They didn't really lean into a new direction.
well, 2018, in my opinion, I enjoyed that movie. It had its problems, way too much humor, amongst other things. But there were moments in that movie that made me go, "Holy shit, they get it. They understand the essence of Michael Myers." Like in particular, the house to house scene where he's like picks up the hammer, kills the lady, walks past the baby, and sneaks into the other house, kills that lady. Like, that is a 10 out of 10 moment in the Halloween franchise. So moments like that gave me hope. Like, holy shit, they get it. Okay, there were some rough parts. Then came Halloween Kills, and it's Doug's favorite movie.
So was Halloween 2018.
2018 was better than Kills. You got to admit that, right?
I'll say it's the better out of the three in the trilogy. It's the best one. I'll say that.
The best one by far. With Kills, God, one thing that's so frustrating about all of these movies, there's stuff in there, like there's like dialogue where it's like, this is so obviously bad. Have you met one person that was like, hey, Halloween Kills, the evil dies tonight stuff, I really like that?
No, I haven't heard anyone say that they love that part of the movie.
Not a single person.
And the dialogue, like, really, again, was the it's kind of like a weird thing with horror movies, because, like, there's a lot of stuff out there that's, like, not the best dialogue. Like, they're not meant to be Oscar worthy, but, like, all the other original Halloween movies, the characters weren't, like, dumb. They were more believable. Like, I just don't think that writing team knows how to write, like, the forced humor is what gets me. Like you said, like, the humor wasn't landing. The forced humor, like Danny McBride's humor, doesn't work to me in like a horror movie, because it just seems like forced. Like, okay, we get it, you like improving, and everyone has a joke now, everyone's witty. It's like, no, there needs to be some differentials.
And I love and I love the crew that's behind these movies at Rough House Pictures, like David Gordon Green, Danny McBride, Jody Hill. I love Vice Principals. I think I've watched that like 3 times.
You're saying that because you're North Carolina born, baby.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. I love Righteous Gemstones. I think that's their best work. So I was really rooting for this team, but I agree with you. I don't think their style lends itself well to this franchise.
And dude, don't get me wrong, I'm with you. I love Eastbound and Down. I think Danny McBride, even Tropic Thunder, Pineapple Express, as acting wise, he's a comedic genius. Just doesn't translate for this. And, like, I think we talked about this before, like, comedians, I think very, like, good comedians and comic actors, they could, like, channel that the inner darkness, and, like, because, a lot of comedians are troubled, and they have, like, they've struggled in their early life to get them to this point to be, like, that funny and that talented. But two examples, Exhibit A, Exhibit B. Danny McBride, Jordan Peele. Jordan Peele came from a comedic background. The man gets it. He gets it. He's, like, making serious, like, mind-blowing horror movies. And he's, like, not even just paying homage or just doing, like, little nods and Easter eggs here and there. He's making his own original screenplays from his own ideas, and he's taking it not forced seriously. Like, it's meant to be. It's legit. Like, when I think of horror movies, I do think of Get Out. I do think of Nope. I do think of Us. Danny McBride and David Gordon Green, it's like, cool, it's a passion project. They love Halloween. I don't doubt that they love it. It's just they're making it goofy.
Yeah, well, I think it's pretty obvious that I'm pretty sure when they made 2018, that was a standalone movie, but that one did so well. I think that's when they were approached with the idea of, like, hey, let's make this a trilogy. And it's obvious that they had enough idea and passion to make one really good movie, 2018, which I enjoyed, and so did a lot of people. But yeah, with Halloween Kills and this, you could tell they were just like, what the fuck do we do here? I mean, like, one of the biggest problems with this movie is nothing from 2018 or even really Halloween Kills pays off in this movie. None of the movies feel connected at all. There should be like an overarching theme, but with this, they were just like, I don't fucking know. Like, yeah, it's got Jamie Lee Curtis in it, but that's about it.
And you said themes. There were different themes for each movie, and like you said, nothing connected. Like in the first one, Michael Myers is an unstoppable killing machine. I'm gonna stutter 80 billion times. I'm gonna be talking so fast. And then the second one, again, unstoppable killing machine that we know. And the third one, Laurie Strode goes, "You're just a man." It's like, what? What?
Yeah.
No, like, how do they... First of all, they take away Laurie Strode's whole arc, because in the second one, they're like, it's not about you. It's about the house. Like, okay, so you didn't really need to bring Laurie Strode back in that case if it's just about the house.
Right.
There's so many
speaking of,
things-
what happened to the Myers house from Halloween Kills? Like, shouldn't there have... I just realized this. Shouldn't there have been... I don't know. The house played such an integral part of this, quote, story in Halloween Kills. Shouldn't there have been some mention of it? Like, what happened to it? Did it get
and that's the
demolished?
thing.
Or...
Nothing was explained. Like, things just unfolded and happened, and you're like, wait a sec. And then it's on to another thing. And you're like, wait,
Yeah.
let's go back to that and, like, see. Because, like, there was so many things. And, like, I don't... Like we say, we want to go into every movie and like it, but there's just so many things wrong with this movie that you're like, you could have just took a little more time to maybe flesh it out and plan it, you know? Because they did, like, again, they did the flashbacks in Halloween Kills, and they inserted stuff that wasn't necessary. So if they could do that, then they could explain the stuff that's going on. Like, why was Mikey laid up in the goddamn sewer? Why was he living in the sewer?
Yeah.
Dusty old man. Corey's 21. He snatched his mask so fast. But you were like, that's just some bum in a jumpsuit. He went to Party City and jumped a homeless man.
Party City. Hey, you know what, Doug? So we are going to get to that moment and many others because I had the bright idea of like, hey, I'm going to rewatch this movie. We're going to pretty much break it down almost scene by scene just to really gather our thoughts and figure out why this movie just doesn't work for us. So
and it's not like I hate it. Like, I don't hate it. I just hate that it could have been better.
Yeah, very poor execution. Well, Doug, you ready to just jump on into it?
I'm gonna get my swimming goggles on. We gonna dive in.
So the first 10 minutes of this movie are kind of like a standalone thing. I mean, Corey shows up to this house. It's a year after the events from the previous movies, and he's babysitting, which I thought that was pretty cool. Like, okay, this is a Halloween movie. There's usually babysitting involved. So off to a good start. And you think that Michael's going to be in the house, but he ends up getting locked in the closet by this kid. And he's really scared of the closet for some reason. Starts freaking out, kicks open the door, and kind of comically hits him in the face. And the kid falls over the railing. I mean, not a bad intro. I was like, okay, well, this was shot well, acted well. What the fuck does this have to do with the previous two movies?
Exactly what I thought. And I was trying to go through, like, the Rolodex in my head of, like, is this a new character? Is this someone I'm supposed to know? Like, are these people that we've seen in Kills or Halloween 2018? I was like, it was cool. It was cool. I did enjoy the intro. Again, like you said, I was like, what does this have to do with anything? What does this have to do with Halloween at all?
If this was the first episode of like some new Netflix show that you've heard is pretty good and you tuned in, you'd be like, okay, I'll see where this goes. It's not bad, but in the context of the third film in this trilogy, it's like, okay, Weird start, but let's roll with it. Let's see where this goes.
And that would have been an interesting movie from like that start. I'll argue that if you took the Corey storyline and what happened to him didn't happen, it could have been a compelling story.
Sure.
Because he was wrongfully, accused of killing this kid. Interesting. Maybe he wasn't like that, and there's that argument whether you're born with that side of your, with that malicious intent, or you kind of grow into it because it's like, the toxicity is just like growing inside of you due to like people isolating you, and
yeah,
that would have been cool. But
nature
like again,
versus nurture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Halloween movie? Not so much.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, we get the title card, and all is forgiven because oh my god, it's a callback to Halloween 3.
All is forgiven to who?
I don't know.
Not the audience.
Dude, that's one of those things that kind of drives me nuts these days. Are these little winks at the audience, like, "Hey, Halloween 3, right?"
Yeah, we've done our homework. We've watched the Halloween movies.
And I'm like, yeah, I know. Just stop and make your own good movie. Like, we've all seen these movies a million times. There's no need to be like, hey, remember this from Halloween 2? It's like, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, and maybe they're not catering to the heart. Like, it's a little nod for the hardcore fans, but it's a major franchise, so they have to make it accessible for the mainstream audiences. So they're like, hardcore fans, we see ya. And then that's it.
Yeah, so
same thing with like the season of the witch masks, which like, all right, like you threw it in there, even though you said again to ignore all the other Halloween movies, but season of the witch, here you go. Here's the makeup for our shitty dialogue. Anyway.
Yeah, so we meet Corey Cunningham, and get used to it because this is all about him for some reason.
For 55 minutes.
And I guess I should just say this up front. It's not this guy's fault. He didn't write this movie. He did his job well. I mean, he's a decent actor. I was extremely tired of seeing his face. I remember like 30 minutes into it thinking, who are you? Fuck off. Like, what is this? I don't care. I mean, maybe if they had planted a seed in 2018, like he was a character and they had developed this idea over time, like maybe in Halloween Kills, something happens that plants this seed that he's eventually, but you can't just pick up on the third movie and be like, okay, we're following this guy now. Hope you're cool with it. Michael Myers, who's that? Tough shit.
Exactly. He wasn't even in 2018 or Halloween Kills. Like, it's just like a brand new face that we're supposed to connect with immediately. And I guess that's what the intro is for. Like, you kind of feel for the kid, but like, again, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, maybe if this movie wasn't billed as like the final showdown between Laurie and Michael, then maybe, because I feel like people went in expecting, and I'll give it this, we talked about it, Halloween Kills had, at the end, I think it had a little momentum.
Yeah.
We knew it, they were like gunning for it, and then there's like a time jump, and you're like, what? Like, this is just there's weird choices all around. Like, it's just a strange,
yeah,
the whole script was just strange.
The ending of Halloween Kills, of course, Karen gets killed. Laurie drops the phone. Slow-mo walks out of the hospital like, I'm coming for that ass. Get ready. It's about to be on. Like, cut to credits. And there was no... Do you think that there should have been, like, the intro of this movie should have somehow picked up from that moment, at least, so there's some sort of closure?
Yeah, some resolution would have been cool, because
like,
otherwise we're just expected to believe that Laurie just gave up, and then now she's fucking showing grief for tits and smashing pumpkins on the floor and writing a novel, and there was nothing implied. Like, it was just all like right there. And that's the good thing about the older Halloween movies. Like, a lot of things were left to mystery, or like it's just like said in passing, and it's not so like upfront. Like, did we need Laurie writing her goddamn like Ernest Hemingway novel? I don't think so. It added nothing to the story.
No.
Pun
I
intended,
agree.
because she's writing a story.
Yeah, I agree, Doug. But hey, we meet Allison again. Remember her?
Bum.
Doug.
Fucking bum. Dude,
You-
nothing against, like,
Andy Matichak.
the actors or anything, but, like, she is a bum.
I was not a fan of her character in this movie. I thought she was great in Halloween Kills.
Ugh.
I liked how she stepped up and kind of became a little badass, and she was fighting against Michael. I thought she held her own as an actor and as a character.
Feels like I'm watching, like, like a local town's, like, play of Fiddler on the Roof or something.
This did have like high school play type vibes, right?
Zero range of emotion, just kind of unsure of, like, your choices.
Like I could picture Corey and Michael on the motorcycle, but people are making the background move and they have a fan blowing on them, like giving the illusion that they're moving.
It's made out of cardboard. Not actually on a bike.
All right, so Allison gets pulled over by her ex, this 45-year-old cop. That's
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm pulling you over for being the prettiest girl in Haddonfield. I'm like,
What are you, in Jersey?
and I'm like, always in Jersey. Anytime there's an accent, hey, who's this fucking guy pulling me over?
Hey, you fucking cannoli, your lights are out. Go get that shit fixed.
And that's another person that makes you go, okay, hi, who the fuck are you? Like, what is...
The whole town showed up to kick Michael's ass in the last movie, and he wasn't there.
Yeah. Shouldn't there have been some mention of Cameron? Like, I mean, this was her boyfriend.
Who's Cameron?
And from 2018 in Halloween Kills. Remember the guy from they were dating, they went to the school dance in 2018 and
Oh, yeah, the stoner kid. That kid.
he gets his fucking head twisted off by Michael in Halloween Kills.
Yeah. Well, I guess 5 years will make you forget.
Yeah, I guess that they're not your favorite movies. So
Yeah, I don't. You said Cameron, and I said who?
okay, well, there should have been some, I don't know, just a quick scene of her maybe looking at his picture and shedding a little tear, but it's like, oh, well, he's dead. Fuck him. Whatever.
Or not, or even just like, a picture of him like in the room or something like that. That's called good writing, which this is not.
Yeah, or maybe like, you know how in Happy Gilmore he has the picture of his grandma hanging on his
Yeah, exactly.
on his rearview mirror. Maybe just one of those, just dangling there, like, oh yeah, Cameron.
I wanna stab you all over. Oh no, I'm sorry, baby. Please come back to life.
That's what I was saying to Michael in this movie the whole time. Like, I'm sorry, baby. Just please come back. I didn't mean it. Just come back.
Please stop working with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and come up out of that sewer cap.
So Corey goes
Teenage
in.
Michael Ninja Turtles. Sorry.
So Corey goes into the convenience store to get some chocolate milk, and he runs into the high school marching band of bullies. He was like,
Which is
"Hey,
apparently like the Savage Streets, like rebellious gang of this movie, which is highly unbelievable."
yeah." He's like, "Hey, you drinking a little milk? Yeah, I like milk too." It's like, what? Okay.
Or slaps the shit out of his hand. Like, what? Listen, I don't think we're in our early 30s. I don't think marching bands have changed that much radically over the years. Typically, they're not the ones starting fights.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. But this gang of bullies, they were just like so cliche bullies, like insert
Very.
high school bully here.
And they're like the Gen Z bullies, so the kid had like a Skrillex mullet and like a fucking denim vest with like a Post Malone patch on it. It was just all weird. Like, go back in your car and get your fucking trumpet. Like, go and learn some scales.
So yeah, Corey cuts his hand on the glass, and Laurie shows
Also,
up.
did he annoy you when he fell back and he put his hand on the glass and he was like, oh, Oh! I was like, all right, overacting, let's go. The fuck?
Well, 30 minutes from now, this guy is going to be manhandling Michael Myers. So, yeah.
Very true. With a bandaged up bloody hand.
Yeah, so this is where Allison and Corey meet. And boy, it is love at first sight, Doug.
Sparks fly.
Yeah. Yeah, they have their little flirty moment while he's getting his hand stitched up. Not a whole lot here. I guess there was supposed to be chemistry. I wasn't picking up on any.
They just gave each other a couple glances, and they were like, "Oh, yep, they love each other. They're obsessed with each other." That makes total sense.
So yeah, now comes okay. So up to this point, I was like, okay, this is weird. This is different, but I'm still with it. I knew we were in trouble when the line came where she's like, you need to. When Jamie Lee Curtis is like, you need to find somebody that'll make you pull your shirt off and show your tits to grief and say, let's go. Like, what the fuck is that?
That's called Danny McBride.
So when I saw this in theaters, that's when I pulled my phone out of my pocket. I hadn't texted you yet, but I was like, ooh. I was I was about to send a distress signal like, this is going bad, dude.
SOS, please.
Yeah.
So I was so like, when you texted me, I was like, I'm pretty sure he's still in the movie theater. Like, it's only been like an hour.
Yeah, it wasn't at this point. I would say it was well, we'll get to it. We'll get there. We got a lot to go through.
And I was like you during this point. It's been like 45 minutes at the point that we're at. And I'm like,
not yet. About 20 minutes.
20 minutes? It felt like 40 minutes.
Well, the intro was like a good 10 minutes. So.
Okay. Well, up to that point, I was like, what's happening? Like, what does this have to do with anything? It feels like we're just watching, like, like a half-hour episode. It's like Halloween, the sitcom, or something.
Yeah, or like Young and the Restless.
Yeah.
It's like what your grandma would watch at 11 in the morning when you're staying at her house because you're sick that day. She's just watching her stories, eating a ham sandwich.
Watching her novellas. She's making a quilt or something.
Okay, so I do like this moment. Laurie's in the grocery store, and we meet Will Patton again, Sheriff Hawkins, who
and I think still don't know who he is. I was like, who was he in that last movie? I don't know.
I mean, he was the sheriff. He was in the same hospital room as Laurie Strode.
And then when I watched it again, my friend Steve told me, he was like, yeah, he was in the hospital. And I was like, oh, all right, that's the guy. Yeah, completely, he was so irrelevant.
I don't know.
I forgot he was in it.
He's actually one of my favorite characters in this trilogy. Will Patton is just great in everything. This movie definitely needed more of him. But speaking of things that didn't pay off from Halloween Kills, they had like a little love interest in Halloween Kills. So I thought that, okay, this movie's going to start and maybe they're married at this point, but he's just kind of there, shows up at the grocery store. But it is a nice little exchange. We do see, this is one of the first times you see Laurie Strode since, I guess, the first Halloween just be like kind of a insecure, flirty, happy person again. She's like twirling her hair a little bit. I'm like, okay, well, this is a cute little moment. It didn't amount to shit, but it was a cute moment.
I just have, and I'm with you. It could have been a cute moment in my eyes, but like I just think they destroyed Laurie Strode's character. And I love Jamie Lee Curtis, but I just felt nothing because there's no chemistry there. Like they didn't, like you said, if they'd given them enough time, in like the last movie or like even the movie previously, if they set it up, that would have been something. I was just like, I don't feel anything. Maybe I'm a robot, but I don't think so because I'm emotional as fuck. But in that moment, I was like, I don't feel anything. I don't care about. How do I not care about Laurie Strode?
Well, I think this was one of the most grounded human exchanges in the movie, because the rest just feels like,
Yeah, I agree with that.
let's burn it down. I
like the
like
match.
who talks like that? Nobody.
And then the Edge theme song starts playing, and the Enigma comes out of the crowd.
By God, it's Edge. He's gonna burn it down.
Oh, the Brood is coming out. It's like, oh my God, what the fuck?
So while I enjoyed that moment, it was quickly ruined by when Lori was walking out to the parking lot and she gets accosted by this lady who's like, what are you smiling for? Like, this was your neighbor, and the lady that gets stabbed in the throat with the fluorescent light bulb, she's out there in a wheelchair, and she's like, you provoked that man. Which I don't understand, because now the whole town thinks that Lori, how did she provoke him?
Which also didn't make any sense.
Michael was locked up. It's not like they were writing letters back and forth, and she was like, yo, what's up, you little bitch? Like, come get me. Like, there was no provoking.
Michael opened up a letter and some anthrax popped out, and he was like, I gotta get revenge.
Yeah, she sends like a letter full of glitter. He's like, God damn it, I got glitter all over me. Why is she provoking me? So I didn't get this angle either. Like, when
because bad writing.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I fucking know, Doug. But hey, whatever. Let's keep the shit train rolling. So now is the party scene with Allison and Corey. You get a cameo from Nick Castle.
Hey, the best part of the movie.
You think so?
The best part of the movie?
Well, and he says, see anything you like? Because, hey, that's what you said in Halloween. I was like, fine, whatever. Good for Nick Castle, getting a little screen time.
With his actual face.
Yeah. Nothing too eventful happens here. It's just Allison and Corey falling in love and dancing on the dance floor. Corey gets
like he was convulsing a little bit when he was on the
Yeah,
floor.
what the fuck was up with that?
I thought he got poisoned. I'm like, oh shit, did someone poison his drink? And he was just dancing.
I was like, is he having a seizure?
Yeah.
I literally thought he was having a seizure, and they're about to be like, call 911.
I thought the same exact thing. Because he looked like he was about to die.
Was that his first beer? Or
might have been his first dance.
So yeah,
he has no moves.
He runs into the lady that
the
who's,
mom of the kid that he accidentally murdered.
There we go. My brain sucks. The mom of the kid that he murdered. Yeah. And he runs out and he's like, why did you bring me here, Allison? She's like, I just like you. And he's like,
I want to fix you.
You can't fix me. Oh God, what's he say later? Or maybe it's right now where he's like, you think you have enough bandages to fix me or something.
Yeah, some shit like that. And you're like, you've only known each other for 18 hours.
Yeah.
You can't possibly get that just from like she's obviously interested somehow. Doesn't mean she wants to just immediately fix you. Like, first of all, she doesn't even act like she's traumatized at all. She forgets that like Michael Myers and her had like a whole thing. She just immediately forgot that. Just bad chemistry between the both of them.
So now we are on the bridge, and the bullies come back. Wouldn't you know it, those damn marching band kids. And they crush Corey's glasses, and there's a little tussle ensues, and Corey gets thrown off the bridge.
No broken bones, nothing. Kind of indestructible, kind of like Michael Myers.
I guess so. And watch out, world. He's wearing his contacts from now on. He's evil now. No more glasses.
Well, that's because he had the evil spirit injected into his eyeball. So obviously that means he has 20/20 vision.
Which is about to happen because he crawls into the tunnel. And, yeah,
did 40... he crawl into the tunnel or did he get dragged there? Because
oh, wait, you're right. He got dragged into the tunnel. My bad.
And then Michael just left him. Right? Or who dragged him? It had to have been Michael. So
either that or the homeless guy, another totally needed character that we'll talk about in a bit. But yeah, 40 minutes into the movie, this is the first time we see Michael. And boy, it is uneventful. So he grabs Corey by the throat, and this is just incredibly fucking cringy to me. Like the Michael's looking into his eyes, and he's like, I guess he's thinking, "Oh, you're just like me." Like, what the fuck was that?
He had like a father and son bonding moment, and that's the point where I was like, okay, now what the fuck are we seriously doing here? Where is this going? Because out of all the movies, everything that we've seen, Michael Myers is a straight up, he will show you no mercy, no matter who you are.
Yeah.
And then he just lets him go.
He's like...
Which is the strangest move that Michael Myers has ever done.
That
was written.
It just does not work for me at all. And hey, call me crazy, but I like to see Michael Myers in my Halloween movies. Yes, I like to see Michael Myers stalking and killing people. Fucking sue me, okay? No, I don't want to see Michael grabbing somebody by the throat and like having sympathy and letting him go for whatever reason.
So that makes him
big yawn.
Big yawn. That's
You want to take a nap over there, Doc?
The more we talk about this movie, I'm just getting tired.
Eat a Reese's or something.
I ran out. I need to get more.
Oh my god!
I ate the last 2 last night. I have these peanut butter pretzels though, which my neighbors gifted me, because I'm watching their cat. What was I saying?
Is his name Jeffrey? Hey Doug. Hey Doug, you wanna watch my cat for me?
Hey, I'm going to the store and grab a couple beers. Do you wanna maybe party hardy? I could take some pictures of you.
Yeah, sorry about the smell. I left out some cat food, and I'll make sure to clean that up.
When I went to King Cullen and I accidentally grabbed some expired meat.
All right, so we got to talk about the homeless guy, because Corey wakes up the next day, I think, walks out of the tunnel, and he runs into this homeless dude. That's like, he goes, "Why did he let you live?" And he goes, "I'm Michael Myers." And he pulls out a knife. So, is this guy just crazy? Or did he also run into Michael and get the evil passed on to him?
Well, yeah, that must have... so that implies that there's more people, or there was other people down there in the cave sewer thing. And other people... Well, obviously he killed other people.
Was it just like a homeless camp? Like there's shooting heroin and cooking beans together? Or
yeah, like in They Live or whatever. There's that little community.
Yeah, is it kind of like that?
But what I don't understand is why they chose that. Like, that makes Michael, like, again, not as, like, you're thinking, like, oh, he's human, but he's more than human. Like, it was always this argument of, like, well, is he supernatural or no? And that's the whole thing that Dr. Loomis was, like, describing in these other movies. And now he has emotions? Like, he has sympathy? Like you said? Like, all this, like, what is... The first 2 movies, he was killing people left and right.
Yeah, he was superhuman. He was shot, stabbed multiple times.
Walks through a goddamn burning house. An
unstoppable killing machine. But now, all of a sudden, he's back to human. And I've heard some people justify, well, he was injured, and he was living in a sewer for 4 years. Okay, but in 2018, he was just in the mental asylum, and he wasn't killing then. But now he has to kill to get his mojo back.
Oh, when he was hulking up, when he was killing the.
When he was.
I know we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
When he was stabbing and he was like Hulk Hogan, brother, like, oh yeah, I feel it in my veins. I was like, what is this? Is stupid. This is stupid.
All right, we'll get there. Let's power through this. Okay. So we got more Laurie in the novel bullshit.
Let it inside. Wait, no. Let him inside. Wait, no. Let evil inside.
So what's it gonna be? Suicide or cherry blossoms?
Oh my god.
Like,
hack.
That's hashtag deep, bro.
Hashtag deep. Shout out to Bo Burnham.
Okay, and here is when I believe I sent the SOS Doug, we are in trouble text. When Laurie looks out the window and she sees
Oh,
Corey standing there, much like Michael. So she goes downstairs. And this is one of the weirdest, most clunky jump scares I've ever seen. So Laurie's standing there, Corey's gone, and then he just literally appears directly behind her.
it
Like
was a
not
magic trick. It was straight up Houdini shit.
and there was like a little sound effect. It was just like boo. Like I don't know what fucking noise it was. It was just so awkward. I was like, was that supposed to make me jump? That's just weird. Doesn't
Yeah,
work at all.
no, they were like 20 feet away from each other. He would need to like be
Like
at the bush, have Lori not see him, which I don't know. Did he go around around the back or something? Did he like hop a fence? There's no real continuity to that, like at all. And then
yeah,
like, why was he standing near the bush, not looking at anything?
I don't
Why
know.
was he standing near the bush? Like I get like, oh yeah, Michael Myers did that in the first movie, but like he was watching someone. Corey wasn't watching anything.
Yeah, why does he hate Laurie all of a sudden? Why is he like sort of stalking her? Because up to this point, she's been very nice to him. She took him to the hospital. You know what? She kind of fucked him up by stabbing, she pulls out the switchblade and she's like, so are you going to do it or am I going to do it?
Yeah.
She sets off a series of events that leads to him getting his ass kicked, thus meeting Michael Myers all to begin with, because she was like, hey, let's stab their tires. Because if he had just walked away and not done that, I'm sure
But
he
he was
wouldn't have.
never enamored with like, or it seemed like he was never enamored with like murdering or killing. Like even I'm gonna skip a little bit for a second. When they were talking to the father of the kid that he murdered, they were like, he was like, I saw him down the road and I stopped, and I didn't see. I just drove because I didn't see anything behind those eyes. But
He wasn't wearing his glasses.
like before that, he was just like working and shit, minding his own business or whatever. Now he meets like you said, Laurie Strode, and all of a sudden he's a fucking killing machine.
Yeah, so he walks away and Laurie's like, oh no, he's got the evil now.
He's
Wait,
got
was he's got the juice now. Go
Tupac
fuck
is Michael
yourself.
Myers and something.
You got the juice now, Grandma. Go fuck yourself.
Don't
don't be a menace.
Yeah, don't be a menace while drinking your juice in South Central in the hood or something like that.
while
Classic.
drinking your chocolate milk in Haddonfield.
Don't be Michael while drinking your chocolate milk and eggs.
So Corey meets up with Allison again, and he says, "I killed someone." No questions asked. Allison just grabs his hand. She's like, "Oh, okay."
You're a bad boy. You
Oh.
naughty, sexy boy. Like, no, all right, you're not going to elaborate on this at all, I guess. All right, that's
Like,
real
uh,
smart of you.
Like, who'd you kill? Why'd you kill somebody? I should probably not date this person. None of that. And up to this point in the trilogy, use that term loosely, Allison has always been a fairly level-headed person. She's not a dumb character. So, like, why is
Sure.
she...
She's fucking stupid.
All right, well, I can't argue with her at this point.
She
Yeah.
literally had dementia in every movie. She whines and yells at Laurie for wanting to, protect her and protect herself, even though she knows what she's been through every time. And you're like, when are you going to understand? There is a issue here. She has years and years and years of deep-rooted trauma, and so should she now. And she's just going off with this kid who just murdered somebody. Literally makes no sense. I'm sorry. You said smart, and that just triggered me.
No, I meant like up to like in Halloween 2018 and Kills, she didn't make a dumb decision like this.
I guess not, but she was also I'm just not a fan of. I have no.
I know you're not. I'm talking to the wrong person here. It's okay.
So
So
there was really no even in Halloween Kills, for Halloween 2018. Like, it's like 1 second she's a scared girl, and another second later she's picking up a bat. It's like, where was the growth? Show us.
All right, so they go. So Corey, no, you're fine. We just got a lot to go through. So Corey takes Allison to the house he was babysitting, and I don't know, some melodramatic garbage dialogue is said.
New Michael house.
And there's cobwebs that they picked up from Party City everywhere. And this was kind of an odd moment. So they're at the diner, Corey and Allison. And now they're locked in. They are just two lovers torn apart, Romeo and Juliet against the world. And Allison says, I can't leave. I have all my memories here. Of everybody you've ever known getting slaughtered? Like, oh yeah, I can't leave because I love the memory of my boyfriend's head getting fucking twisted backwards. That was a great memory. And yeah, and my mom died that night too. But yeah, Haddonfield, nice place to live.
And then she complains about Lori wanting to keep her there, but she's also like an adult. She could go whenever the hell she wants.
Yeah, so...
It's like everything's conflicting.
Yeah, there's just so much conflicting dialogue, and the motivations of the characters is always changing, and it just doesn't line up. But this is where he's like, let's burn it all to the ground, and I'll light the match. Like, what the fuck? No
reason for that line to be said, because what is she burning down? What is he burning down?
Yeah,
what are they planning to do? It means nothing. It has no substance.
What does that mean?
Nothing. It came out of nowhere. Burn what? What are they? They weren't talking about like everyone in town rallies around Michael Myers like some sort of pariah deity god. We need to do something about this. Burn it down. No, they were just like, I can't leave. I killed someone. Let's burn it down. I'll light the match. Like for what? For nothing. It makes no sense. They just thought they walked past a Hot Topic and saw it on a shirt. And Danny McBride's like, this would be edgy.
Yo, who do you think is the first T-shirt company that's going to put out a shirt that says that? One that won't be getting my money, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, no comment.
All right, so the cop follows Corey back to the homeless camp.
Right.
Now, this is where I really fucking checked out. So
we didn't already.
Well, I was struggling, dude. I was like, come on, you can still turn this shit around. But when Corey, okay, so Michael Myers, barely able to like stand and hunched over, is like, bleh, I'm too weak. And Corey presents this guy to him, and he slashes his throat. Then he stabs him a few times, and he comes in his overalls. You could actually hear him. He was like, oh. It's like, oh god.
I saw his knees start buckling in the dirt.
I'm surprised he didn't like roll over and light a cigarette. Like, oh god, that was good.
Even though, wait, hold on. So you bring up a good point. What the homeless guy said to Corey was, how come he let you go? Which means Michael was killing people before.
Uh-huh.
Why is he a dusty-ass man right now and can't kill? How long has it been since he killed someone? How did he hop out? I want to know how he wasn't seen, in 4 years' time, and who was he killing? There's no missing people reports. There's no missing people post-its on, like, telephone poles. There's nothing. Nothing makes sense, again.
And by the way, the FBI would have swept every square inch of tunnel system, every hidden spot in Haddonfield you can think of. Had somebody went on a murderous rampage and gotten away, they would have, like, bloodhounds going through everything. But whatever, that's getting a little nitpicky. We've got enough to cover here. So, this is the halfway mark in the movie, by the way. So I was like, okay. This is like a halftime speech. Like, all right, guys, we're getting creamed out there.
Back to the locker room.
Yeah, back to the locker room. Where's Al Pacino? We need him to like deliver an epic halftime speech. Like, all right, David Gordon Green. So far, we got shit. but you can still turn it around.
Hire 3 more writers to get in here. Let's see what they can do. Hoo-ah.
Hoo-ah. All right, so Corey goes back to Allison's, and they have sex. And, yeah, Corey sees the pumpkin mask or scarecrow mask.
Hold on, let's not breeze past the fact that Corey came home after he murdered the homeless guy and was staring into the mirror, seeing how much he's changed, and looking in his eyes, and he's all bloody, and something is different about him.
Yeah.
In a real subtle type of way. Subtle meaning not so subtle.
I forgot all about that, but thank you for pointing that out. So, yeah, this is when Laurie says, she starts talking about, like, I saw Michael's eyes in Corey. It's like, where are you getting this? What? Like, I don't know, man. This is just bad. And I'm sorry, people, that, well, I can't apologize for my opinions, but I know a lot of people love this movie, but damn, you cannot ignore some of the just bullshit.
Mind-blowingly bad dialogue.
Yeah.
Because
it's so
again,
bad.
The idea, like, I get the idea. I see where it could have went. I see the direction they were going in, which they ultimately, in my eyes, failed in. But just the writing was just so weak. And it had no substance. And they were just saying things that, like, didn't matter. Like, the whole, like, the idea of it, of Corey being, like, you know, this new threat. And to carry the torch, so to say.
Yeah.
That could have been, I'm kind of with that. To carry on, you know, again, we're going to get more Halloween movies. It's going to happen. But, like, to see someone as the new Michael, let's say, as the new Shape, to see how it came about, I get how that could be interesting. But just the way it was done.
But they totally ruined that because Corey is dead at the end of this movie. Bye. See you later. So while, yeah, that could have been an interesting take, they totally shot themselves in the foot. They were like, okay, well, Corey's officially dead. Michael's dead. So, like, what was the fucking point of all this?
Exactly.
To tell this love story between Allison and this dipshit I don't care about? Like,
it amounted to nothing because, like, at the end of the day, Laurie and Michael fought anyway, and it had nothing to do with Corey. It had nothing to do with her dumbass niece. It had nothing to do with anything else. That whole chunk of time could have been spent elsewhere.
Yeah.
Because it had no substance. It was a complete diversion.
Yeah.
It didn't have to happen. That could have been a separate movie. That could have been a whole separate thing. And then fucking Corey tag teaming with Michael Myers.
So we are at that moment right now. So let's talk about it.
Perfect.
So we have the doctor and his nurse, little sex scene, Mr. Not William Shatner. I was like, is that fucking William Shatner?
You don't have the same haircut.
Yeah. Okay, this is where I was like, dude, no. Okay, so Corey kills the doctor outside. Michael comes from behind the curtain, kills the woman. And I'm just thinking, okay, so Michael hops on the back of his motorcycle, wraps his hands around Corey's waist, and he's like, let's burn it down. And Michael's like, I'll light the match.
In public, no less, if that's how they got around. So imagine you're just like at the gas station pumping your gas, and you see Corey ride by on your motorcycle with fucking lunky ass Michael Myers hugging his waist, and you're like, wait a second, it's not Halloween yet. Why is that dude wearing a Michael? Oh shit!
Yeah.
Let me call the police.
Yeah, you're just at a red light and you look over.
It'll be like that that scene in Dude, Where's My Car with Ashton Kutcher and Sean William Scott. They look over at Fabio with the model.
Yeah.
And then they start making out to like one up them. No?
God, it's been a long time.
You're playing the Good Charlotte song.
All right, that's a good song. All right. So, do you think, like, before they hatched this plan, they were, like, at the back of the house, and Corey's like, okay, so I'm gonna go around the front, and you sneak in through the back, and you wait for me to kill him. All right, ready on 3. 1, 2, 3, kill! Let's go!
He's 1, 2, 3, kill! And he's writing the directions with a stick in the dirt, like, all right, you go 36 degrees that way, I'll go northwest around the side hatch to the house. It's like, it's just so dumb.
I'm surprised they didn't have like walkie-talkies. Like, hey, are you in the house? Over.
What's the line in Saving Silverman?
Oh wow,
that's I see her in the back of the back of the closet. You don't have to say just kush sound. Everybody does that.
That's a great movie.
It's such an underrated comedy. Jack Black and Steve Zahn are amazing.
Yeah, so now we got Allison and Corey. They're sitting on top of the radio tower on the roof.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah,
let's also not breeze past the fact that David Gordon Green literally just stole the Bob kill for this movie.
Oh, you got to throw it back to the other movies, man, because
it's been done.
Yeah,
Stop
I know.
Stealing from the franchise that you're rebooting. You've done it before.
It's for the fans, Doug.
No,
they love that stuff,
Make
man.
your own iconic kills.
And he even does the head tilt because
no, why would he do that? It makes it literally. I'm not mad. I'm just passionate.
For the
why the fuck would they do that? They're so unoriginal. David Gordon Green.
Yeah, you know I'm totally joking right now. I fully agree with you. But
no, I know. I know. Yeah. I was just like, I don't fucking. You think you're serious? Jesus Christ!
As soon as he stabbed her, I was like, "Here comes a head tilt." Yeah, there it is.
Like, I was in the theater like, "Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it." I did it. You son of a rat bastard.
So
I was in the movie theater in the handicap section because I like to not sit with people, and the handicap seats are always open. There's no one around you, so I tend to go to the back. And there was someone else to the right of me. I think she worked there, and she like just went up because she had like an AMC shirt on. She probably heard me say, "Are we kidding?" at least 25 times. Especially during that scene, because it's just like, you're stealing. It's not even like paying. It's not even giving credit or giving a nod.
Yeah,
it's been done. You're stealing it.
You're preaching to the choir, buddy. So Corey and Allison run into the radio DJ, and he reiterates the point. She teased a man with brain damage and made him snap. Like, why? All right. Even though she didn't.
But who had brain damage?
The guy said that Michael Myers had brain damage, and Laurie was teasing him and made him snap.
But that's a lie.
Yeah, I know. It's fucking dumb. But what are you going to do? We're fully invested in this movie at this point. So, oh God, yeah, I forgot about like Corey's home dynamic. This is like where his mom slaps him, and the dad's like,
him.
And then Chef Boyardee is like, I hope you find love.
Which is also his boss, by the way. His dad is his boss, right? Am I crazy? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
And just, the mom was very, very overbearing, oddly, when she was, like, yelling at him to stop texting at the dinner table and, like, good boys don't text at the dinner table. You're not getting pie or whatever the fuck she said. It's like, he's 21. What are you...
Were they pulling from, like... I mean, this is obviously a gender reversal of, like, Carrie or something. And I've heard a lot of people say, like, oh, this movie was heavily influenced by Christine because his last name is Cunningham, like Arnie Cunningham. He works in the junkyard. He kills people with a car. And it's like, okay, well, I can watch Christine anytime. Why? That doesn't make this a good idea.
Another unoriginal idea that wasn't fleshed out. They're just like taking things from John Carpenter movies and injecting it into the Halloween franchise, and it's just like, for what reason? Like, it's cool, yeah. If you want to add some, like, another reason why this kid is an outcast, do that. But And that was like I guess that was like a subtle nod to Christine, which is fine. But like it was just weird. It did like nothing worked with
Yeah.
that dynamic. It was just strange because you would think after everything that he's been through, the mother would be a little bit more supportive and like loving, not in the way that she was going for, the incestual way. It would be a little bit more, nurturing.
Yeah, you're right. But hey, I hope you find love. It's like, okay, thanks.
Thanks, Dad.
So, boy, here comes one of my not favorite scenes. Corey wakes up at the babysitting house, and you hear like this little knocking on the wall, and you're like, what the fuck is that? And Laurie, like a cool kid in the back of class, is just tapping her chair. And she's like, there's two kinds of evil. And at this point, I was like, my God, if I got to hear Laurie Strode wax poetic on evil for another minute, I'm going to fucking lose it. No disrespect to Jamie Lee Curtis, but I am so over it. If it's not coming from Dr. Loomis, it loses all its merit. It just sounds repetitive. Evil this, evil that.
And also no even mention of Dr. Loomis.
That's true.
Like at all.
Not
and
a fucking
if this
mention.
Is a continuation from 78 up until 2018. You think like that stuff would stick with her. Like they were like, not partners in crime, but they spoke and like she knew, she got all the information from Dr. Loomis about like what was going on.
At the very least, I guess she could have said hey, do you know who Dr. Samuel Loomis is? He'd be like, no, who's that? She could have been like, well, he said, pull out her fucking dictionary of all his evil talks, which I miss dearly. But
dude, Dr. Loomis, if it wasn't for Dr. Loomis and the brilliance of Donald Pleasance, like giving it that gravitas and that weight,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if Halloween would be the classic it is because he sold it.
I've always said that Dr. Loomis, in my opinion, is a more important character than Laurie. I mean, he was the nemesis to Michael, and yeah, the series is not the same without him. Like this trilogy
he really held it together.
I think that this trilogy could have used a Loomis type character, somebody to fall back on, so Laurie's not 90% of the time just talking about evil.
But it wasn't even about like they didn't give Laurie Strode anything. Like they didn't really give her a lot of meaty material to like work with, especially in Halloween Kills, especially in Halloween Ends. If it was the final showdown between both of them, it should have been about, the central focus should have been about Laurie and Michael on how to end it.
Yeah.
And maybe it was the fact that she just moved on and just forgot about it and said goodbye to her boogeyman.
Ugh.
Or whatever that hacky line was.
That's another word I just wish they would stop using. Boogeyman. God damn it.
It was cool in the first one. Overused in all these movies.
Yeah.
It loses its meaning after a while.
All right, so like towards the end of the episode, we'll kind of talk about our what ifs and, what they could have done different, but we still got a good chunk of movie to power through. So this is, in my opinion, this is worse than Busta Rhymes punking out Michael Myers and making him walk away. This is the lowest point in the franchise. Corey's stealing Michael's mask, and he's like, you're just an old man with a mask. And hit them fucking roughhousing in the sewer like they're 11 years old watching WWF. Like, what the fuck is this?
And Michael Myers just takes it. He just lets it happen.
Yeah.
After he got his ass handed to him with a cast iron skillet in Halloween Kills. And he gets up and murders everyone.
And by the way, he is killed now. Isn't that what gives him his energy and stamina
Corey
back?
is his protege.
So
he needs
what?
him to live.
It just doesn't make any fucking sense. And
It's Daniel's son and Mr. Miyagi.
And then they have the nerve to make Michael do the sit-up again, as if, like, oh, well, now he's mad. Like, no, you
also,
just ruined
that
it.
That scene looks CGI'd to me. Weirdly, like, he got up, and it looked fake. And I know, like, it's just easy to fucking get up like that, but, like, it just looked computerized. I don't know why.
I'd have to watch it again, but yeah, it was, like, very just awkward. Like, dude, it's going to be a long time before I rewatch this. So there's more fighting between Allison and Laurie. And so, like, now Allison blames Laurie for everything that's happened. Also does not make sense.
Even though she understood everything in Halloween Kills, like, she saw it for the first time, like, firsthand.
This guy killed your mom.
It's not Laurie's fault at all.
Yeah.
Laurie was trying to protect everyone the entire time, and yet this dumb bitch fucking forgets everything that happened in the last movie.
So you don't want to try to get Andy Matichak on the podcast?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
I guess it's not her fault because it's the writing, obviously, but, like, I don't
Yeah.
know, the way she delivers the lines, she's just not selling it. She's not selling it for me.
Yeah, well, we're at the junkyard now. And I guess there's some decent kills here. You can say that about it. I thought the blowtorch to the face was pretty brutal.
Would have been rad if you could see it.
Yeah, they should have hung on that scene a little bit longer. You saw it for like a split second. And
Yeah, apparently rated R doesn't mean shit, and they want to do this art house thing of being in the background. Like, no, it's a slasher movie. Show the kills. Let's see it.
yeah, Corey gives that one girl the big boot to the head.
Oh my God, King! Her head is smashed in.
But I mean, for what this scene is, it's basically like an action sequence. It's shot well.
Yeah, I like how it played out.
Yeah.
I thought, again, the chick hanging on the fence definitely could have got away if she didn't hang there and be like, no!
Yeah.
And then just fucking got pummeled.
So Corey goes home and kills his mom. He's on a killing rampage now. And he goes to the radio station, kills the DJ.
And Diana Prince.
What's that?
Diana Prince from Last Drive-In. She was the girl.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Never seen that.
with the scissors. Wait, what?
No.
Never saw
Wait, you
what?
took The Last Drive-In?
It's Joe Bob Briggs' like show.
Oh,
Where they,
okay.
like, play movies and like talk about them. And
Yeah, I know The Last Drive-In, but I might lose my horror podcasting license here. I've never really watched Joe Bob. I remember him on TNT from back in the day.
You gotta watch him. It's great.
So I hear. So sorry everybody, forgive my sins. We all have the things that we've just missed, you know.
But Diana Prince is like his co-host.
I got you. Okay, well,
she was a porn star back in the day, which I know. But yeah, she was the blonde one cutting the Halloween decorations with the scissors.
I got you. All right, well, she gets killed, and so does the radio DJ. And I guess this is a fun kill. Smashes his head into the desk and
Good
cuts his
prosthetic work right here.
Yeah, of course.
I
Look,
will say that his fucking tongue, his mouth just being completely shredded did look really cool.
yeah, I mean, say what you want about all three of these movies, but Christopher Nelson and his crew like crushed like all the makeup effects in all of the
nothing
movies.
wrong with the makeup department here.
Yeah.
That's not the issue. Also, again, they made it goofy. His tongue was spinning around the record. Like, it's not menacing enough. Like, it's goofy.
Yeah, I thought that was at least a little creative. I don't know. It is what it is. So, it's time for Laurie's suicide scene. very dramatic shit, Doug.
Let's go.
So, yeah, she says that she's going to kill herself, calls 911, but Corey is sneaking upstairs, and she's like, "You really thought I'd kill myself, motherfucker." Shoots him twice. So did Lori know that Corey was in the house, and she set a trap? Like, I'm gonna pretend to call 911. I was a little confused there.
It seemed like she knew after that conversation that they had in the house that he was gonna, like, you know, if he's anything like Michael, he's gonna come after her.
Yeah.
So yeah, it seemed like a little bit of a diversion, and he's like an amateur serial killer. So obviously he's gonna believe anything that, you know, if he hears a gunshot, he's gonna think it's her or whatever. Not too bright. It's kind of stupid, but yeah, I would say it was like a diversionary tactic.
Why did she fire off 2 rounds into the wall when she was like walking downstairs?
I think it was to show Corey that she's not going to harm him and she wants to help him. Like she's seen the face of evil and she wants to try to prevent it from happening. So she she emptied the chamber to show like, hey, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm going to help you.
Oh, well,
that's how I saw it.
Oh, okay. Maybe. I
mean, what were you thinking?
He did get shot in the chest twice. I don't know. I thought she was making it seem like some sort of, maybe like a self-defense motive type. I don't fucking know. But this is even more baffling here. So Allison comes home. Well, first, Corey, he gives this little speech and he's like, you know, if I can't have her, and he stabs himself in the neck, which doesn't really work like that. Like, oh, if I can't have Allison, nobody will. But she can still go bang other people now.
Yeah, you're dead, bro.
He
cut himself in the neck. His ideology kind of flailed a little bit there. His plan did not work out. He could have had her.
Well, at this point, he's not dead. I forgot that Michael breaks his neck.
Also came together on the bike again.
Oh, yeah.
Also, remember there was that one scene where Corey goes to meet Allison and Jamie Lee Curtis is at the house and Michael is behind the tree and he sees Lori.
Yeah.
And just goes back to the cave.
Yeah, you're right.
He doesn't do a damn thing.
That is odd. At least...
And then remembers who she is at the end of the movie, and he's like, oh shit, I gotta fight her now.
So, Allison comes home, right? So Allison...
Scratchingly bad.
Yeah, so she gets home. She sees Corey in the jumpsuit, knife in hand. Obviously, Corey tried to kill Lori, right? But Allison's like, what did you do?
Didn't question the mask on the floor. Didn't question why Corey has a jumpsuit on. Nothing. Just completely blames Lori for after all the shit that they've been through together. She just leaves her in the dust.
Yeah.
And it's odd when she leaves and she gets the call like there's been a suicide attempt at your house. I guess that signaled her like, oh, she's gonna kill herself.
Yeah.
And that's why she came back and then snapped Michael's arm like a fucking like a snow pea.
Yeah. She's like, "Aya!"
a lot of Karate Kid nods in this movie.
So
the Ultimate Warrior.
So Michael sneaks into the house, grabs his mask, and it's time for the final showdown, Doug. This is what we've all been told. This was the promotion of the movie, the final showdown to the epic trilogy.
UFC 65, Laurie Strode versus Michael Myers, welterweight championship on the line.
And cue Harry and Marv from Home Alone slipping on marbles and getting smashed with paint cans.
Yeah, that was the Halloween Kills was the antithesis.
So I mean, was the lead up. We got a fight scene here. It's a hell in a cell. By God, they're gonna stop the damn match.
Stop the damn match, Laurie. You're stabbing his hands too much.
So Laurie stabs his hand on the fucking island in the kitchen, stabs his other hand to it, drops the refrigerator on his leg. And yeah, then Laurie comes in.
Let's not forget the fact that Michael and Laurie are both dusty ass old people, and they're exchanging blows like they're Mike Tyson in the 80s. It's totally fine. They're healthy now all of a sudden. Laurie doesn't get knocked unconscious. Michael is cool after he took a swift pushing, I wouldn't even say beating, from Corey. Health is restored. They're all back. It's just, nothing makes sense in this movie.
Yeah, you are right. Well, she stabs him in the chest with a knife, and Michael's got a little bit of fight left in him. He grabs her by the throat, and I was just like, oh, please kill her. Please. But then Allison comes in and breaks his arm.
Backwards. Straight up, just snaps it.
She's like, I'm not going to let this happen to you, Grandma. Hey,
It was like a Jack's action figure back in the day. Just snapped off the fucking shoulder.
And then Laurie shit talks Michael. You know, she's like, you know, I used to think you were the boogeyman. Now you're just an old man who's about to take his last breath. And she cuts his throat. And then she cuts his wrist. And that's what kills Michael.
And that makes it very uneventful. You're just a man.
Yeah.
All right, I get that you have to rationalize yourself as like a victim, you know, like you're just a person, but like he's not though. He's this anomaly.
We've clearly seen that in the previous two films. He is very much not just a man, supernatural, if you would say. So at the last minute, oh, he's just an old man, and slitting his wrist is going to kill him. Okay.
Wish we would have thought of that earlier, then we wouldn't have two movies.
And then Allison said, he's not dead enough. Back up my Ford Focus to the porch, Grandma. We're going to...
The whole town needs to see that the infection is dead. Really? You think that's a good idea? To parade Michael around on top of your fucking Ford Fiesta?
God. I mean, this is just... so cringe, not to mention the logistics of rounding up the entire town, and they're just following along like a fucking Christmas parade. We're heading to the junkyard. And it's just very anticlimactic. Then they crowd surf Michael like he's a fucking beach ball at a concert.
And no one was scared. No one was scared to touch him, that he was going to come back to life. Totally unsafe call by every official there. The FBI was there. The cops were there.
And by the way,
that would have not happened.
Most of this town, I'm guessing they don't really know what Michael looks like. So now they're going to take the word of this villain, this woman they all hate, Laurie Strode. And they're going to be like, oh, okay, I believe you that this is Michael Myers and not just some imposter that you killed.
Well, that's because of the herd mentality of the last movie. Someone said, that's Michael Myers, and everyone went, yeah, you know what? That is Michael Myers. And then they killed a fucking innocent old man that looked like Danny DeVito. So this town is easily convinced.
Yeah. Well,
that checks out.
They crowd surf him over to the fucking meat grinder.
Michael Myers went to go see From Autumn to Ashes, and he's ready to die.
Wow, haven't heard that band name in a while.
Yeah, they're a dope band.
So she throws Michael in the grinder, and I was just waiting for him to pop up one last time and drag her in there with him. I would have been like, okay, well, that was cool. They're both fucking dead. But no.
That would have been interesting.
Michael gets turned into hamburger meat, and we get a voiceover from Laurie. She was like, you know, Allison says, you were right about Corey. And she goes, he was consumed by evil.
Wow.
Yeah. Evil doesn't die. It just changes shape.
But it didn't change shape because he's dead.
Yeah.
He's dead. It doesn't change shape because it did, and then you killed it.
And
So
now
it does die.
and now Will Patton comes back and she's like, "Hey, what about those cherry blossoms?" And cue Don't Fear the Reaper because hey, remember this from Halloween? All is forgiven.
And then the mask, she has the mask lying on the table.
That's right. Yeah. And that's the movie.
Yeah. Again, could have done without it. I like the direction that they could have went in. I would have thought it would be interesting to see a new Michael in a new trilogy or something like that. That would have been cool since we kind of saw like the, could have had like an organic backstory to it. And now, that humanizes him a little bit, but then now he's just, he's consumed, he's infected, he's evil. But they completely stepped on their own fucking toes.
Yeah. What about if, okay, say after Lori and Allison get home from their Christmas parade, what if they came home, went inside the house, Corey's body's missing, cue Halloween theme, Corey's out there somewhere, but now he's supernatural because he couldn't fully become Michael until Michael truly died.
Oh my god!
I'm
Maybe
not
he
saying
should have been in the writers' room.
I'm not saying. Well, I wouldn't have Corey Cunningham in this fucking movie to start with, but or
Would
at
you
least
compare
have
this to Season of the Witch?
No. And I'm tired of hearing about Halloween 3 when people are talking about this movie. That was a standalone movie, no connection to the first two. Totally different story. It's a unique little movie. It's got a cult following. Good for Halloween 3.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with this movie.
Here's why Season of the Witch got it right. And why it's like a cult classic. And so many people love it. It didn't rely on Michael Myers, and it didn't fall back on it. They said, we're going to make this movie in the Halloween universe that's not going to have Michael Myers, and it's going to be a good movie. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a mystery. It's going to have a good story. It's going to have great prosthetics. But all in all, and it felt, the essence of that movie felt like a Halloween movie. The atmosphere, it felt like it was in the same universe. It felt like it was in Halloween. It just didn't have Michael Myers. But at the end, they weren't like, they didn't get nervous and throw Michael Myers in like they did with Halloween Ends. They said, no, this is separate. This is in the same universe, but it's a different story.
Yeah, if they wanted to go with this Corey Cunningham becoming Michael Myers story, they should have went all in with it. Maybe have Michael get officially killed at the very beginning of the movie. And like, sorry audience, no Michael Myers, but you've got this new guy. I mean, you could take that idea and do something good with it, but this ain't it, Chief. This is just this is just bad, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, and after I came out of the theater from Halloween Ends, I didn't know what to think. I needed a lot of time to process it, and I usually don't take that long to process a movie, but it took me a while because I was like, like I said in the beginning to you, there's something there. There's something here that could have been good. It's just not this movie.
Yeah.
And I don't want. Listen, thankfully we got spoiled in 2022 with Nope and X and Pearl and Barbarian and Terrifier 2, with all of these great original horror movies. I don't want to see another reboot anymore. I don't want to see another franchise reboot. I don't know if I'm just a snob or stubborn. I've had it.
Yeah.
I like my originals. It's been done. Jordan Peele did a masterful take on an Alien movie, different than any other Alien movie that I think I've seen. A new iconic female character in Pearl with Mia Goth. And what other movie did I mention? Barbarian. That was just like I thought that movie was a great twisty mind fuck. I'm curious to know what these people who have original ideas do rather than David Gordon Green ripping apart The Exorcist or another fucking franchise.
Yeah, that'll be fun to watch, to see what happens. But
Yeah,
just
I'm mad about it.
but just speaking on this movie, look, I am a diehard Halloween fan. I love Michael Myers.
This is your shit. This is your wheelhouse.
Yes. So I'm stoked for that we got. Well, I was stoked that anytime there's a new Halloween movie, and I really wanted this to be good, but like, what is so fucking bad about like just making a movie with Michael Myers doing his, stalking and creeping around bushes and in backyards? Like, that's where, in my opinion, Michael is the scariest because he's just lurking around in your fucking backyard. They could have really, like, this was their chance to really nail it. And
that's the essence. You nailed the essence of Michael Myers. That no matter what scene that we're watching in all the Halloween movies, you believe he's there.
Yeah.
When he's not. And everyone's on their toes and everyone's on edge and he's a threat. These movies were not that.
And I've seen some people defend this by saying, well, Michael was in Halloween Ends for over 10 minutes, and in the original, he was only in it for like 9 minutes. So
irrelevant.
So suck on that. And it's
irrelevant.
Like, no.
He was more of a presence in the first one.
Exactly. All you needed was a split second of Michael standing across from the school looking at Laurie. That's all you need. He's there, now he's not. Where is he? We don't know. We're on edge. This is called suspense, David Gordon Green. This is called atmosphere. But there was none of that here. The only thing we got in Halloween was him hanging out in a fucking sewer and this weak-ass showdown. I mean, it was a joke.
There was no menace. There was no mystery to this Michael, to this version of Michael.
There was nothing scary at all about this movie. There wasn't a single moment of true tension throughout this entire thing.
No, and the thing that Halloween 1978 does masterfully, and which is why it's considered not even one of the... I honestly believe that a lot of people think that this is one of the... If you had to pick like 100 the best movies of all time, 100 of them, Halloween 1978 is in there. Because John Carpenter captured that like slow dread in this movie.
Yeah.
And he lets the camera linger and he lets you like be in the movie and it feels like you're there. And David Gordon Green and a lot of these new horror movies, they just don't do that. There's a lot of quick cuts, a lot of quick action when like all you had to do to create suspense, at least to some degree, is to just, and Jordan Peele does this great too, you just let the camera be.
Yeah.
Let use silence.
Right.
And a lot of even shows like The Walking Dead, and in this movie, it's like you don't need to talk over like know when to use music. Like music is a big thing in my eyes. It's creepier when people are just having a normal conversation and there's just like the room tone there. And it's just like a natural, it just feels more natural that way.
Yeah. And you're a musician.
Talk over fucking sad pianos all the time.
Yeah. You're a musician, Doug. You know the importance of, it's not always about the notes you play. It's about the notes you don't play. It's about creating space in between those notes.
Right.
You don't want to listen to a song that's just constant fucking sound going on.
Less is more. And it took me a while as a musician to even know that. But you can't fill up the space with everything all the time. And silence, hey, AMC got it right. Silence is golden. Even I use this as an example in for Us, the intro of Us, where Jordan Peele, he's showing us.
This is your third confession of love for Jordan Peele, but go on,
dude. He's a brilliant man. I mean, he's giving us original stuff, but he gets it when the camera just slowly zooms out on those like rabbits in the cages, and he's filming it's just, you feel it. You're like, this is really creepy, and he's pulling out of that shot, and then he's closing, like zooming in on the bunnies eating whatever, and then there's still that slow zoom out. You're like, I'm there. I like you get the tone right away. You get the move. You get it. He gets it.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be constant action. And God, Halloween Kills really lost the plot on that. I mean, that was like there was more going on in that movie than Fast and the Furious.
Halloween 2 Redux.
Yeah,
it's just a whole lot of stuff. Like, and a lot of these, like I know, there was that movie. I don't think you saw it. I definitely didn't see it. I don't even want to. That movie, The Invitation.
I don't know. I don't think I saw that.
Exactly. It came out like 2 months ago or 3 months ago or something. But it just straight up looked like an action movie. Yeah. And it was like, and they first of all they ruined it in the trailer. What the whole twist was, which is stupid. But I just, and it's fine. There are a lot of action and horror movies, but like, ground it in a horror if you're going to make a horror movie. Yeah. I think there's some rules that you need to follow when you're making a horror movie.
Yeah, you tell them, Randy.
I was waiting.
All right, so let me ask you this, Doug. Okay, let's take Corey Cunningham out of this movie. He could have been like a side character, like Allison's new boyfriend, but let's say they didn't go this route. Whether you liked it or not, let's just play devil's advocate. No Corey Cunningham. It's all about Michael, Laurie, Haddonfield. What would you have liked to have seen?
It's a good question. I actually would have liked, and it all depends on the writing here. I did like where they were going with, like, you have kind of this new guy, this new personification of evil, like taking the helm and like going to carry on the torch. I don't know what it could either be that, the whole movie of that, and that would have been like a whole swerve. So you're kind of wondering like what happened to Michael Myers the whole entire time. You're like, where is he? And that kind of like, you have something in the chamber for maybe in the future to bring him back. Who knows? Or just have like a really close contained story of like Laurie, like figuring out, like really being paranoid again about like Michael's still out there. Like, where is he? Like, let's find him. Like, let's maybe like a heist type of movie, like trying to like find out like where he is. Like, especially if you're going to do that time jump. I don't know. Again, I give credit, and I do give credit for David Gordon Green and Danny McBride and all those writers for actually writing a movie. I can't do that, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I could write a better movie. I just think me and you and other people have more insight and maybe better ideas, potentially, because from what I've seen and what other people have seen, a lot of people aren't a fan of this. And there are people that are. But I don't know what I would like to see.
Can I give you my... Okay, this was the movie that I just kept waiting for them to make. Now, a lot of people say, this movie was refreshing. Like, how many times can we see just Michael stalk and kill people? Like, it's the same fucking thing. It's like, yes, but it's been a long time since we got a Halloween movie that was like truly atmospheric and dreadful, and things slowly happened. And I was really hoping that they would make this movie. Like, in my ideal world, Laurie and Hawkins are living together, and sure, Allison's living with them too. Maybe Laurie has some friends on the block, kind of like in the original Halloween, like a friend that lives across the street.
Yeah.
And things slowly start to unravel a little bit, and she's like, well, I'm trying to move on with my life, but this thing's freaking me out. And
a lot of natural conversations happening, not just like quick snappy dialogue here and there.
Yeah, not pulling your tits out and showing it to grief and whatever the hell that was. And you could have had like a final showdown where maybe like Laurie walks across the street to investigate what's going on. Like, hey, my friend's not picking up. Let me walk over there and see what's happening. Much like in the original. And you get a badass chase scene, and they come back to Laurie's house, and that's where the the showdown takes place. I don't know. I mean, anything but this, man. This was just not a good time for me personally. Sorry, I wanted to see.
And you're the one who said go into it with an open mind before we both saw it, and then you ended up despising it.
I don't despise it. I don't hate this movie. It's just frustrating. I'm not upset. I'm just disappointed.
Extremely disappointed. But I think that might have been the last horror movie of 2022 to come out.
The last big one, yeah. And this was the 13th Halloween movie, the 7th to feature Laurie Strode. If they ever do another Halloween, I'm so beyond done with the Laurie Strode story. Like, it's done. And I'm tempted to say I never want to see a new Halloween movie again. Just leave it alone.
Yeah, I would agree with you with that, because where do you go?
Yeah.
Where do you go from here? There's really no other avenue to explore. They've done it a million times. They did it perfectly within the original trilogy. If you're going to do something, pick apart, Halloween 6 Cult of Thorn. Do that. I know you're all about that. Do something with Season of the Witch. Do something with the Silver Shamrock Factory. Do something different. Different.
I agree, Doug. I mean, I don't know. At this point, I'm done with this trilogy. I'm burned out from Halloween Ends. I lost sleep the night I saw this movie in theaters. Like, I had to literally take like 2 Tylenol PMs. I was like, I'm exhausted. I should be falling asleep right now. But nope. I was like, what the fuck? That made no sense. Why the fuck? It was like a nightmare.
Yeah, it hurt. It kind of hurt.
It did.
Knowing that something could be so poor.
So I did hear that there was a lot of studio interference on this. I was listening to like the first half of new Epic Film Guys podcast with Sean Clark. I haven't finished it yet, but Sean Clark did mention that originally they were supposed to take Michael's body to the crematorium and like burn him there.
All right.
Instead of like going to the junkyard. And it wasn't, and there was no like crowd surfing and Christmas parade leading up to it. So I would be curious to see the original direction that they wanted to take this movie, because they did a ton of rewrites on this.
I just don't understand why a studio hires directors to do a job and then they completely change their vision. Like, let the director do their job, because maybe David Gordon Green isn't to blame for this. But he did write it and he did direct it.
Yeah.
Now, I would love to hear them speak honestly about it. Like, what happened? Like, I love behind the scenes stuff. I know you like it too. I would love to hear them talk about the whole experience open and honestly, and what their ideas were, what was changed, what they wanted to do, what they couldn't do, what their main goal was that they were trying to achieve. And that would add a little bit more insight, and maybe we would get a little bit more perspective on, maybe we would appreciate it more, or just say, all right, fine, it's not your fault.
I did hear an interview with Mr. Green, and they asked him, like, okay, well, you got 4 people writing this movie. What's the writing process like? And he said, okay, for example, Corey's at the bottom of the stairs, Laurie's upstairs. We like where we're at this point. Now let's see what we can come up with. And all 4 of them will write like, okay, well, maybe this happens. Then the other person will say, hey, maybe this happens. And he said that they usually end up going with the most, like, kind of the wildest idea, which I'm not a writer, but I don't think that lends itself very well to this kind of movie. Like, oh, nobody would expect that. Let's go with that.
Well, there has to be a through line.
Right.
If you pick the wildest idea, you could figure out a way, or, workshop a way to get there naturally so it makes sense. Not just one out of left field because it's crazy. And that's where I think this team fails, because, they're comedy writers. They could do that in a comedy.
Yeah, that's that's what improving is. Like, oh well, hey, I got an even crazier comeback.
Yeah, and it just doesn't work in this movie. I do have to go in a couple minutes though. It is.
Oh yeah, okay. So
3:30.
Oh shit, yeah, we're at like an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So I think we've got it all out there. All right, we did it, Doug. Halloween ends.
Never want to talk about this movie ever again.
I will talk about it in the future, but not for a while.
Yeah, we need a breather. We need a mental. We need to take some mental relaxation moments here.
Yeah, but if you're still listening, thank you so much. If you could rate and review the show on iTunes, that would be cool.
Hey.
Or if not, just thanks for listening. We
follow us on the gram.
Follow us.
Podcast.
You know what it is.
Hey.
Hey, what show do you got tonight, Doug? Who's playing?
We have Nurse Blake, who is
All right.
a TikToker / comedian. 2 sold out shows, so I can't say anything.
Huh. All right. She's really burning it down, as they say.
It's a man. You fucking sexist.
Okay.
You fucking pig.
Hey, you light the match?
I'll burn it down.
I'll burn it down.
Trash. That's our sign off. That's our sign off from now on.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening, and we will catch you on the next one.